This is probably not the most exciting view here. As you can see, I'm on a multi-lane road, but I'm getting there. I'm not even on the route I'm supposed to be on yet. I mean, I'm going to the Kalimoto route. So people are always fighting about the dyno numbers, and you know, if you don't do it yourself and turn it into a light speed beastie, then you're an idiot. People love to one-up each other on that crap. But in the Honda community, you never see that. I've never seen an argument about performance stuff. I've never seen anybody get an upgrade to their engine on a Honda Goldwing, especially not one of these new ones. Sure, I've seen a whole lot of suspension upgrades. They're always talking about suspension upgrades. But, and there's lights and all this other great stuff you can get. But, yeah. All right, then there's the argument, of course, the argument about, who's better, Honda or Harley, which is one of those endless things that's never going to be answered, because one side believes one thing, the other side believes the other thing, and never the twain shall meet. People like me think they're both great. It just depends on what you want them to do. That's all. One of the things that Harley people will say is, oh, the aftermarket is way better for Harley. Well, I think it's a deeper aftermarket for Harley, because that's what I knew. I mean, there's all kinds of great stuff, but for the Goldwings, they've been around since the 70s. There's a huge aftermarket for Goldwing stuff. And now that this new bike has been out a couple of years, the aftermarket for this model is growing exponentially every year. You just don't get a whole lot of engine upgrades for these, because I guess the engines are powerful enough. I don't understand why Honda Goldwing people don't have any interest at all. I mean, you'd think that somebody would. I hear a train. I mean, I don't, because the bike is already plenty fast enough, and if I want to go faster than I'm able to go on this, I'll get a sport bike. So that whole thing about Honda doesn't have as good an aftermarket, I would disagree with that. At least for the lights and the plastics and the, all the little extra doodads you can put on these things, little chrome pieces here and there. Honda has just as many of those as Harley does, I would say. Welcome to downtown Raleigh. You may have seen us in the news. They have been removing Confederate statues left and right around here. Let me see if I can show that to you. Big deal around here now. There's this whole let's get rid of the Confederate statues thing. Talk about arguments, right?
Calculating the route. In 0.1 miles, turn left onto South Wilmington Street.
All right, this is the old Capitol building here. Salisbury Street, Raleigh, North Carolina. You can see it's all Jersey barriered off, or whatever the hell they call these things. So let's see if I can find any empty pedestals or whatever. I don't see anything yet. I know they got rid of some of these. I don't see anything yet. Now this one here, this is the statue of Andrew Jackson. They're thinking of taking that down for a number of reasons. Maybe the Vietnam Memorial will get taken down one day. They'll say, what we did to those poor Vietnamese people was a crime. You shouldn't commemorate that. History rewrites itself all the time, right? Unfortunately. I think that's World War I, World War II memorial. Yeah, over here, let me see if I can I'm just going to make a big circle around this thing.
In 0.1 miles, turn right onto North McDowell Street, US 70,
All right, you
US
see this?
401, NC 50.
Oh, don't run a red light, Mikey. See the flower basket? See the big empty spot there? There used to be a huge memorial right here. The Daughters of the Confederacy or whatever put up a huge memorial to the Confederate government or whatever, the war, the Civil War. It was right in here. It was right in here. Gone.
Calculating the route.
Let me go.
Turn right.
I can't turn right. That's a one-way, lady. I'll turn right at the next one.
Calculating the route.
Calculating the route. Yeah, Kalimoto.
In 350 feet, turn right onto West Hargett Street.
She calls it Hargett Street. Hargett Street, lady. It's Hargett Street. All right. Oh, this is all damaged from protests, probably. There's going to be all kinds of comments on that.
350 feet, turn right onto South McDowell Street, US 70, US 401.
And here I said I wasn't going to go with the political stuff, right? But I figured since I was here, I'd show you.
Turn right.
Okay, what's next on the
road for about 1.2 miles.
The griping agenda? What else do people fight about? Oh, how many miles you go? That's another one. People love to fight about that. I go 8,000 miles a year. Or they say, I go 20,000 miles a year. I go 100,000 miles a year. I live on the bike. I just go to drive-thrus, eat the food, and I poop right there in the drive-thru.
0.9 miles, turn slide right.
I lift my butt off the seat, and I kind of angle it, and next thing you know, pooping off the bike. People are always trying to one-up each other. This is nice. They redid all this. This is beautiful. Wow. Wow. Half a mile to my turn. Is that the turn there? It doesn't really say. No, that's not it.
0.3 miles, turn slide right onto Capitol Boulevard, US 401.
Oh yeah, I'm going the right way. So it all comes down to who's a real motorcycle rider and who isn't. People are always throwing that one around. Who's a real biker and who isn't? How many miles you ride?
0.5 miles, turn slide left.
It's a little bit of a, what do you call that? I'm trying to think of the word. Pride, I guess?
0.3 miles, turn slide left onto Capitol Boulevard, US 401.
It's hard to do a motovlog when this lady's, you know, yakking at me the whole time.
Turn slide left.
She's still yakking at me. Telling me to turn straight left. There's nowhere to turn straight left, lady. Maybe she means continue straight and don't take this exit. Anyway, last year
for about 4 miles.
I did 13th. Now, for me, a year goes from April to April because that's when I bought my bike. That's when I started putting miles on it. So April to April, I did 13,000 miles. This year, you know, it's been, what, 500 miles? I've done 600 miles this year. Oh, God. Since April. It sounds worse when you say this year, but since April I've done 600 miles, which still kind of sucks. See, even I fall victim to it. Just one of those things. People love to brag about how far they go. How far they go, how fast they go. Wow, that used to be a Dunkin' Donuts. Now it's just a grassy field. I used to work over here. Well, not here, but I'll show you in a second. You see that building in the distance there? It says food bank on it now. That used to be the place I worked at night teaching, and I broke my leg just over there in 2010. Notorious spot. People got shot down there. see. I'm still going the right way. Yep. Okay. Just checking, make sure everything is good. I do have an opinion about the mileage thing. If you're going, only, let's say, 1,000 miles in a year, you're going not enough, I would say, to be safe. I don't know, it just depends on where you go. If you're just going down to the corner and back, and that's all you do and you're happy doing it, good for you. But if you're planning on, being good at what you do in multiple situations, then I would say you got to ride the bike more than 1,000 miles a year. People are always criticizing the Garage Queen bikes. It just sits there, nobody ever rides it. They've had it for 10 years and it's got 5,000 miles on the odometer. Like, what are you doing? This year, from April to April, the Michele 7 year, I don't know. I don't know if I'll put many miles on the bike just because of the COVIDs and the quarantines and the whole. Oh, speed up, Mikey! Yes, I beat the light.
1.5 miles, turn slide right.
All right, at the next. Let me see. I need to pull over here real quick because I think I need to turn off my stuff. Oh, I got another yellow light. I don't want the batteries on these things to go too quick. I don't know if that. I think it's still going. I know the moment I get to the fun stuff is when everything's going to cut out. Hey, let's go into the cookout. Let's go into the cookout, and then I can turn my stuff off. How's about that? Do not enter. Hold on a moment here, folks. All right, this is my Michele 7. I'll turn this back on when I see something interesting.